Hi, everybody, and thank you for joining. So, incomplete means that we're focusing on the condition that something is missing. And one of the things that I want to walk you through is that something is not necessarily missing, but in order to do the estimate, we need to base the estimate about what we know at the time that we do the estimate. So I actually do believe that the technique that I'm going to share with you is more about the incomplete requirements, because incomplete means that we still know that there are things we need to do. And that's the case in most projects or contracts or startups or initiations, regardless of what delivery methodology we are using, is that we often stand with incomplete requirements when we are first asked by leadership or anybody else, how many resources, how much time do we need, what is our expectation about quality and stuff like that. So when we're dealing with incomplete, we need to think about the work that needs to be completed, and we also need to think about how we can base the estimate on something that we can trace. So if we make some wrong assumptions or constraints in the beginning of the initiation where we need to complete an estimate, that we can track whether our risk assessment, whether our assumption and constraint were spot on. So one of the first things I want to talk to you, and this might be the Danish flavor, Lego is Danish, and I do believe that, if there's any one of you who's never tried to build a Lego block, built with Lego blocks, regardless of whether it was a fixed box with a lot of special items in it, or whether it was just random blocks, you need to try it. But I think that likely 99% of you have tried this. One of the things that I came across in 2002 was that the single most important task of a project is to set realistic expectations. And one of the reasons for unrealistic estimates is that these expectation is not set. Now, this was in 2002, and some of you might be thinking, so many things has changed. We do agile projects, we use tools, we have a lot of other engagement today than we had in 2002. Now, unfortunately, as Susan said in the beginning, we still have 70% of projects that are failing flat down, never deliver value. We got about 50% of the projects that are challenged, and one of the most important reasons for projects being challenged, meaning delayed, cost more than anticipated, did not deliver the value expected. So even though we are going in new directions, we still haven't nailed the issue about setting realistic expectations and creating good and reliable and accurate estimates that we can track along the project life cycle. When we are dealing with Lego, for instance, one of the things we need to think about is, of course, how long does it take to build a Lego construction? And I'm going to talk at the end about how the difference between looking at it from a waterfall perspective and the agile perspective, because it actually, the thing that I'm going to present to you is actually just a little twist in order to move from waterfall to agile. But I try very deliberately not to talk about too much about effort or schedule or sprint length or number of staff that you got in agile. I'm talking about how to estimate what you need to do in order to move that to that information. One of the things about building Lego, you can have some special blocks, you can have very small blocks, you can have these very small items that kind of like give the right structure of the Lego construction. It's the same when we're dealing with projects. We also need to try to break down what we need to do depending on what type it is. My presentation today will focus very much on the functional requirements and not so much about the non-functional requirements, because otherwise it would be, much longer presentation. But non-functional size method is also out there in the industry. So those are the ones that you would use on the building blocks that is related to non-functional requirements. We also got cases in projects where we know about certain Lego parts that will be easy to integrate, like COTS packages. I'm not going to talk too much about that either today, but just kind of like touch on it. But try to break your requirements into components, into areas that fit together, so that you don't have all the requirements kind of like mixed up in one big bottle, regardless of where you are on the project. That also makes it a lot easier later in the project to create the test scripts and the test cases, because you would know kind of like who's going to do the testing and the acceptance of it. One of the things that we know is a major influence to creating solid and accurate estimate is how accurate our requirements is. And in a lot of cases, when we are dealing with early requirements, there would be a lot of places in your requirements definition where it is very high level, so high level that you really need to almost guess, toss your finger in the air in order to produce an estimate. And I'm going to talk about how you can try to accommodate that risk associated with estimating when you have inaccurate requirements early in the life cycle. It's of course a lot easier to do estimates later in the development of a product. You know more later than you do when you do early estimates in the initiation of a software product development. Again, there is another factor. I think we all know this exceptional programmer that can do things faster, easier, more kind of like professional.
Hi there, hope you enjoyed that last clip. My name is Michael Maludis, and if you'd like to watch the full 60 minutes of that last webcast, while also gaining complete unlimited access to our entire library of IT learning, simply visit our subscribe page at greatpro.org/subscribe. Unlimited annual access is $199 per year, but if you use the coupon code LEARN to earn, you can drop that membership fee to just $149. That's less than $13 per month for unlimited access to over 1,000 hours of on-demand career development, covering the entire spectrum of IT management best practices, including business analysis and requirements, software development, quality and testing, risk management, process improvement, project management, and even digital transformation. But your membership doesn't just give you unlimited access to our vast learning library. You also get free access to our mobile app, as well as direct access to our network of over 300 of the world's leading IT consultants, all of whom are dedicated to putting practical knowledge at your fingertips so that you can learn more and earn more. I hope you will join me in becoming a member of the Great IT Professional and advancing your career with us. And if you're on YouTube, don't forget to hit that subscribe button above so that you get notified whenever we publish new free webcasts each week of the year. Thank you for your time and best wishes for your continued success.